Warrior is officially canceled, or is it?
The word, at least from talking with Brett, is that.
Is Mike Tyson finally ready for his fight with Jake Paul? Plus, who you guys got in the UFC tonight? I'll share my thoughts and more. Yes, welcome back. Martial arts news. You know the deal. Sifu Quasi in the building. What is going on? Hope everyone's had a great week and doing well. So first and foremost, got to welcome everybody far and near. For all that are unaware, I did attend Sifu Don Hamby's gathering of the masters last week. It was a great event. Martial arts from near and far came, represented their styles so well. Saw a lot of great martial arts, and the camaraderie was just amazing, as it usually is. I did get a chance to demo, so I'm going to show you guys a little quick piece of that. I ended up doing the 3-section staff from Ying Jiao on my system, Ying Jiao Pai Northern Eagle Claw set. I hadn't done the set in a long time, actually, not demo-wise. So this was a lot of fun to just grab this one out of the archives. Had a whole lot of fun with that. So next year, you guys, if you're able to, come on out. So I want to mention Sifu Don also has a book out, so I'm going to give him his love here and his props. The Tiger and Crane 2-person sparring set, available, I believe, online, Amazon. He was selling the book at the event. For those that are unaware, Master Don Hamby is practitioner and an instructor in the Hungar system and been doing it a very long time. So show the man some love, pick up the book if you can. All right, so let's talk Warrior. We got a whole lot going on. Last week, you guys know I did a top 10 reasons why the show should come back for season 4. Then all of a sudden, we get the news that it's going to be canceled. And by we, I actually saw an Instagram post online that said one of the actors, Jeof, had declared that the show was canceled. But we're going to get some more insider information on that right now. I've got a special guest on because we got to talk a bit about this. Last week, I was talking about Warrior Season 4. Will it happen? Actually, Warrior 4, I gave you the top 10 reasons why Netflix should do a Season 4. And then all of a sudden, that night, or I think the next night, I look on my feed at Instagram and I see this pic from Jeof, and basically it says so many times wherever I go, people come to me and say, "Thank you for Warrior. Now I know the true meaning of an actor. It goes way above entertainment. Season 3 is our last season. We don't have the chance to continue the story, but still so grateful. Thank you." And I was like, "What?" So I had to get Jeof on from the Kung Fu Drive-In podcast. What's up, sir? How you feeling?
Doing well. Thank you for having me, Sifu Quasi.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man, absolutely. And just tell the people really quickly, I know you've had your podcast on for a couple years, and, what's the thrust of that? Obviously, it's a Kung Fu podcast, but, you've got many guests on. So just tell the people a little bit about yourself before we get going.
Yeah, thanks. I host the Kung Fu Drive-In podcast. I created it back in 2016. When I first started, it was just doing recaps and summaries of the old 70s and 80s Kung Fu drive-in theater movies that in the New York City area ran on Saturdays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that was like church for me at the time. But then it gradually expanded, and I started talking to actors in martial arts films, and then stunt choreographers, fight coordinators, anybody that really kind of put it on themselves to bring martial arts action to the big screen and the little screen. So I've had people on from shows like Into the Badlands, movies like Mortal Kombat, Shang-Chi, anything like that kind of celebrates the action of martial arts in film and TV. So it's expanded to having on a lot of stunt coordinators and fight choreographers that sneak in some of that martial arts stuff to make the action look really cool on screens. And we're here today, and I'm talking with Sifu Quasi himself. So thank you.
Oh man, yeah, no, of course, man. Yeah, right. It's the other way around for me. I'm like looking at your body work. I'm like, this guy's had like big names on. This is really cool. Fun fact: my Sifu actually in Eagle Claw Kung Fu played Art Lean in the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Sifu Ken Edwards, so maybe I can connect you guys if you ever want to do an old school Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, man, awesome.
But yeah, really quick, man, you dropped this news, or at least you put it on your Instagram. So what were your initial thoughts going there, and what was the aftermath of that?
Yeah, so prior to Joe posting that, I had talked with the cast when they were on a press tour after the show was canceled in the US on Max and then picked up by Netflix. So they wanted to get on the hype train and just kind of make sure that people were exposed to the show and were able to view it and hopefully rate it and kind of trick the algorithm so that Netflix would consider picking it up. And that's been going on for a little while. As we know, season 3 was supposedly the last season, but in talking with the cast, they said that if the response was really good on Netflix, if people double-hearted it and shared it and continued to watch it, Netflix would pick up on that algorithm and maybe consider doing it. So that's been going on for a while. Didn't know exactly what was going on, and then Joe posted this, and I was like, "What? Wait, it can't be it. Right. That can't be just it just can't be dropped because Warrior was doing really well in the ratings on Netflix." It was it had a huge audience. It was like one of the top 10 shows for that particular year or whatever, or that particular season. And then nothing. So I've just kind of been monitoring and seeing what people are saying. But as far as Joe is concerned, I guess he thinks that's pretty much it.
He thinks it's a wrap. But like to your point, when I was doing my top 10 list last week, I was telling people like this thing almost has like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, there's no way this is getting dropped. But then I saw your post or the post from Joe, and I'm like, okay, possible. And I know that you talked to Brett Chan, obviously, and those guys from the stunt team. I just want to refresh the audience's memory. You have a couple cool clips here. You talked to them about obviously different aspects of the show. I really enjoyed even watching that.
Kind of became the hangout spot. Everyone would kind of gather there in the morning to do their training or on their own, hang out, and then it's like, oh, where are you going? Oh, you're going to set? Oh, I'll come with you. Or hey, you're not working today. You want to go grab a coffee? And so it really just helped gel the entire team and the cast and crew together.
That was really cool because I talked to Perry Young before that, and he was saying the same thing. Like, he really has so much respect for the stunt team and how basically it was like their stunt room became this collaboration spot. So I thought that was really cool that you had Brett and them actually pretty much confirm that that's the actual same thing. I'll show you this really quick clip before we talk a little bit more.
And Brett, Brett Chen and Johnny Yang, who's his number one assistant, who does a lot of the choreographing, fight choreo, and previews where they shoot the fight scenes and they sort of tell the normal director how they think the fight scene should go. Yeah, so they have a big job. I mean, Brett has done some amazing work. I mean, he's always done amazing work, right? So this season, episode 1 opens with this huge epic fight.
Okay.
And like all the fans are gonna be like, "Oh my God, this is how it opens,"
Yeah, so we got to talk about that. That was obviously before season 3 dropped last year on Max. But yeah, you tell me overall things that, like, if season 4 does happen, because I'm with you, I'm really like, I want to manifest this thing. It's going to happen, right? What are the things you're looking forward to if there's a season 4?
I mean, the show, for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, you're really missing out. It's such a deeply complex show. The characters are all really rich. Everybody has a story to tell. And one of the great things about the show is that beyond the action, all of these characters are worthy of exploration and just following them for their stories. And then on top of that, you have all of this incredible action. Brett and Johnny do an amazing job of bringing the martial arts aspect of it into dynamic, impactful form on screen, and it's really, really great. I don't know if that is a detriment to anybody who hasn't heard about the show before. If they immediately think, oh, it's just a kung fu fighting show, it's not.
Yeah, it's so much more than that. It's like not to interrupt you, but it's like almost a trip down, like not memory lane, but the historical portion as well. 1800 San Francisco, where all these Chinese immigrants are coming in. There's so much there, even on the political side, kind of mimicking things going on today. It's like the whole anti-immigrant kind of, that whole mentality and things at the time. So a lot of stuff mirroring even stuff today. But yeah, please continue. What are you saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's absolutely correct. It's a show that touches on things that are relevant to people today. You will find a story within this series that you can relate to, whether that be race or politics or feeling alone or isolated or anything like that. So it's more than just a fighting show. That being said, the fights are amazing. The action is incredible, and for guys like us who grew up with the kung fu films and just being action and martial arts fans in general, it's like crack.
Yeah, it really was. It used to be like when it was on Cinemax, it was my Friday fix. I had to see it, even if I wasn't here personally. Of course, I DVR'd it and then watched it later, and it went crazy. Bought the DVD, the Blu-ray when it first came out, season 1 and season 2. I was obsessed. And then when they canceled it, I was like, what? And then it came on Max. I was like, all right. And obviously during that time, COVID happened, so there was this this hiatus period. And even when I talked to Perry Young again, he was telling me, we were all just very hopeful, but we didn't know. We were kind of in limbo, and then we got the call. We were coming back. So I'm hoping the same thing happens, of course, again for season 4, and we start rocking. And something really quick before we go, I wanted to just bring this on as well, because you were able to ask Brett Chan again about the Bruce Lee legacy. I thought that was important because the show's based on writings of Bruce Lee, his original treatment. Before there was even Kung Fu the series with David Carradine, this was Bruce Lee's original treatment, and the Assam character was kind of going to be his. So let me add this up here.
When the legacy like Bruce Lee comes into play, it's you have to make sure it's good, and that was a big pressure on us. And I think I might have been a little bit tired. Was I tired, Johnny?
No. Tired? No. I mean, everyone was down for it because everyone knew the stakes that were involved. Again, we're doing this Bruce Lee thing, and it meant a lot. So I think what really makes our show is that everyone, literally everybody, not just the cast, the crew as well, is down for it. I think it shows through the show.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with them more. The writing is so rich. Jonathan Tropper is like the head producer, writer, who also is a producer on one of the huge shows, favorites of mine, Banshee. So I don't know if you're familiar with that show. So I followed him over from that and all his other work. Yeah, so I can't say enough good stuff about this, but I'm glad that technically there's hope still alive. Like Jesse Jackson, keep hope alive, that there's going to be season 4.
Yeah, so just as a last word to that, the word, at least from talking with Brett, is that it's not officially dead yet. There is still hope. It's still running on Max in some regions, and it's still on Netflix. As long as the viewers are there for it, as long as they keep clicking it and liking it, there is still hope. If by the end of the year nothing has happened and nobody's picked it up, then that's probably going to be it. But until that happens, there's still hope.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I'm going to push out there. Again, I'm a big onto manifesting. So Warrior season 4, as I know you are, Jeff.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to happen.
Definitely. Let's make it happen.
For sure. And give a plug for your channel, man. I'm going to put this up here so people can see it if they've never checked it out. I know you mainly do audio podcasting, but you're also on YouTube as well. So let people know, kind of where to find you and what you got coming up on the channel even.
Yeah, thanks. Kung Fu Driving Podcast. It's anywhere that you get your podcasts. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. I do have YouTube videos as well. I'm doing that a lot more because a lot of the PR companies that I deal with want to showcase their creative talent, so I'm happy to do that with them. If you like action, if you like martial arts, if you like and appreciate the work that the stunt choreographers, the fight coordinators, and all of those guys do to bring you that cool martial arts action, come hang out, and be happy to point you to some cool people.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I know we're going to talk again as things get closer, as we get that announcement for season 4 and all that. And feel free to always reach out. I appreciate you doing this with me, man.
Thank you for having me, Sifu Quasi. Appreciate it.
All right, and on to more martial arts news. Is the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight really on? November 15th. You better believe this thing is on. If you're a fan of this channel, you know I've been talking about this fight for the last few months, all right? First, it was on back in July 20th to be exact. But Tyson had some health issues. He had an ulcer flare up, so they moved the fight, the highly anticipated fight between Jake the Problem Child Paul and Iron Mike Tyson. Fight titled "The Baddest Man on the Planet" will take place at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, and will be streamed exclusively on Netflix. So get that Netflix account up to date. You do not want to miss this fight. I'm going to be checking this thing out, all right? All I can say is every time I see Mike, he's looking mad serious. I would not want to mess with this cat. But you know Jake Paul has no F's given, so he could care less. And I think that attitude could change when they finally do get in the ring. I will say this though, Jake Paul is a pretty big contender. He's just never fought anyone of Mike's caliber. And I know the man is 58 years of age, but listen, look at him. You want to deal with that? I certainly don't, even as a trained fighter. In the immortal words of Sergeant Murtaugh in Lethal Weapon 4, yep.
Some of it's gonna be a handful.
And if you haven't seen the press conference, I'll show you a little clip of that now.
Seen Mike Tyson like this with one of his opponents?
I'm just ready. I'm just ready. You know, I'm going to do my talk, and I'm going to talk my shit, but I'm ready to fight. Is he really a young killer?
You had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? Your tummy hurts still?
I feel a lot better now. I feel a lot better. I was terrified.
I'm here to make $40 million and knock out a legend. I don't give a about anything else, and he's the one that wanted it to be a pro fight, so he's gonna get his ass knocked out.
Wow. I gotta give it to him, man. Jake Paul, man, balls of steel, bro. And listen, I know the cat can fight. Man, have you seen the Mike Tyson training videos, you guys? Have you seen this guy train? Mike is training like he's 20 again, guys.
Who else can do it but me? Let's look at it. Who else is he gonna fight to make this happen? You got a YouTuber fighting the greatest fighter that ever lived.
Right. I mean, point blank period. Man, yes. And pretty much that's what Jake Paul is, a former YouTuber, now a fighter. And listen, this is still technically a celebrity fight, so it's not going to go no 12 rounds, but it's going to go enough rounds, man. I'm watching this fight. I got my money on Tyson, man. I'm not even a betting guy like that. Lest anyone forget who Mike Tyson really is and what he can do. Even in his 50s, I would never underestimate him, and I don't think Jake Paul should either. Just as a refresher, guys, Mike effing Tyson. I'm just saying, this guy was one of the baddest. And I know people gonna be like, Buster Douglas. All right, but that was way after Tyson had already knocked a bunch of these cats out, man. Dude was doing the damn thing back in the day. When I was a kid, it was a thing watching Mike Tyson fight. You come and get that HBO pay-per-view and you watch this dude just demolish opponents. It wasn't even funny. I mean, 2 sounds, Mike hitting them and then the opponent hitting the ground. That literally was it. I mean, you know, props to all of these legendary fighters that went up against Mike, but really, none of them had a lot of answers. In the beginning, Mike was all that. And I know later it got sloppy. The whole Don King debacle just kind of is what it is. Money gets involved. So people start thinking, you know, they don't need certain people around them. And I think that's honestly where Tyson went wrong back in the old days. I mean, from the old days when he was training with Customato, who got him in such superb shape that he just became this, you know, just super brawler, but with technique. He wasn't just, you know, throwing punches to throw punches. The guy could literally move like a middleweight, but he was a heavyweight. So, all right, props to Jake Paul. I would say, buddy, you got your work cut out for you. I would not want to be you, but hey, this is why they do it. So we will see November 15th. Get your popcorn ready and get your Netflix account up to snuff so you can watch these two men fight. All right, so now, as I asked you guys before, who you guys got in the UFC this weekend? Actually, tonight, big old fights coming up. So let's talk about the fight cards really quickly. So I'll mainly, I'll go down the list and check out this fight card with you guys. The main event is obviously Moicano and Saint-Denis, two, I would say, fighters with completely different styles, or very interesting styles, and they're a little bit different to me. Moicano's more of the stand-up guy, and Saint-Denis is more of a heavier grappler, but also pretty good stand-up. All right. Then we've got as a middleweight fight, you've got Emavov versus Brandon Allen. Then the featherweight, William Gomez and Joe Anderson Brito. You've got Jousted versus Battle, and the welterweight. We've got Morgan Schreier versus Gabriel Miranda, because originally AJ Cunningham was supposed to fight him, but that got canceled. So now that's in its place in the featherweight division, and Fares Ziam versus Matt Favola. So those are the lineups, but I want to talk about the main card here, which is Moicano versus Saint-Denis. And these two guys are going to really do some damage in the ring. I mean, Moicano's really known for a lot of his hijinks and kind of just being an out there sort of guy. And a lot of his antics have been, were noted for his antics. But his fighting style is it's he's a fast guy, moves pretty quickly, and his striking is really on point. Comes around with that big old heavy right, man. So dudes that aren't ready, they're gonna be ready. They're gonna have to get ready. This guy, I think, is has a really brisk and fast-paced fighting style. I enjoy watching him go. As far as Saint-Denis goes, I think his strength is more on the ground, as you're gonna see in a minute.
The southpaw, 10 seconds left, King. Big shot. Another left and another. He's hurt. He's wobbling. He's gone. And we're loving every second. At the end of the round.
So Saint-Denis himself is a bit of a powerhouse. So I'm looking I'm looking forward to the match, because I think it's going to be these guys are pretty evenly matched up in my estimation. Again, I think Saint-Denis' strength is more on the ground, but he's a relatively good stand-up guy, where Moicano's strength is really with that stand-up, that big power right, man. The guy just lays people out with this thing. He just really knows how to move around the ring well and get that big old right hand in there. So we'll see. It should be an exciting fight. You guys let me know in the comments who you guys got tonight, and we'll compare notes after the fights are over. Okay, last but not least, last little bit of martial arts news tonight. Something new I am going to call the knockout of the week. Yeah, knockout of the week. And this week's knockout is brought to you by some high school students, I believe, who really, really just got it in. And I will say this as a precursor, that I do not, as you know, condone violence. I am a martial arts instructor, but I don't condone violence. But when I see something, I gotta say something. And I saw this, and the internet will not be defeated. When you watch it, wait. Yes. The kick to the face, Hadouken. It's just what? Man, Bruce Lee would be jealous. Man.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Come on, son. That kick, bro. Man. We just ran into that kick. Like, here's the leg. I'm going to just run into the leg. All right. So, all right, there it is. You guys let me know. Knockout of the week. Feeling it, not feeling it? Again, do I condone violence? Absolutely not. But that's a hell of a kick. When I was in high school, no one was throwing kicks, man. I think I had one fight where I used a kick in high school. And yes, the one kick did do the job. But at the same time, people were just throwing hands. I got to give that girl a lot of love. And by the way, the pose afterwards, shout out for having the wah pose right after, the Bruce Lee pose. She's like, I almost want to just call it like Mortal Kombat style.
Flawless victory.
All right, so enough of that. Knockout of the week, though, will be brought to you every week. I find a new one each week because the internet is undefeated. And if you find something great online, feel free to hit me up down below. I've got all my socials down here so you guys can play along at home. I want to give props to my guest tonight, Jeff, from the Kung Fu Drive-In podcast. It was really cool chopping it up with him about Warrior and so much more. Hope to talk to him even more down the future. Let me know what you guys think about that revelation on the show. And guys, don't forget to check me on all my socials. My Patreon, we're loading a lot of bonus content up there. You guys are gonna get sneak peeks of what we've got coming up next on the channel, what we're doing on the channel. And if you happen to go by right now, a lot of stuff is free, so you can just go on there, check out. I've got some Kung Fu forums I've done and things like that, and just like a vlog that I'm putting up there weekly to kind of just get you guys involved and just keep you in the know on what's going on. So remember to check out a couple of other videos you guys might like. I'm going to leave them over here. Go ahead and share the content, like the content, and of course,
don't just stand there, like and subscribe.
Guys, stay safe. See you all in the next round. And as usual, keep punching.